Meanwhile, TikTok executives are trying to convince European regulators that they can keep user data safe. For more on the possible dangers posed by the app and others like it, we're joined by David Kennedy, Binary Defense and Trusted Sec CEO and former NSA and Marine Corps hacker. Frequent guest here. David Kennedy, welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
How big a threat do you see TikTok as being? And would the mere move of rebasing TikTok to American ownership solve the security problems that so many are worried about right now?
That's a great question. I mean, first of all, TikTok is definitely something that is of major concern because you have the Chinese government's ability to centrally collect a lot of data on U.S.-based citizens from their target individuals, either through espionage or direct targeting. I mean, China is the best at foreign collection, across the entire world, across its entire people, as well as across the entire world. And so there's definitely direct threats there. And Senator Warner is correct on the aspects around the content that is being pushed out and the control over that. In stating that, banning an entire company and its product is probably, I think, a bit of an overstep. I think looking at how you could apply regulations around content, ByteDance, by the way, the subsidiary company that is essentially producing TikTok, does have a U.S.-based presence. They already have content moderators that are U.S. employees. So the content aspect of things is already somewhat corrected, for a lack of a better term, for Senator Warner's concerns there. But the other aspect around China being able to access that data has not been addressed. And I think that's, some of the main concerns. I think it makes total sense to ban it from the government, employees and, owned government devices. But as a whole ban, it seems like a bit of an overstretch and potentially damaging.
One of the things in the research note, and I gather you pointed it out, with respect to government employees carrying around devices that have TikTok on them, that information could tell the Chinese government or the Communist Party where those individuals have been, who they have communicated with. So in the hands of, let's say, an intelligence officer or a military person, you could scrape that data and know exactly where diplomat X had been.
That's 100% correct. And I think that's some of the main concerns that we need to really take a look at from a TikTok perspective is that, what type of employees of the government, specifically even DoD contracting, medical research. I mean, China is the largest proponent of intellectual property theft in the world. I mean, you're talking trillions of dollars of intellectual property theft done all the time. And I mean, from a cyber warfare perspective, they're the most aggressive when it comes to stealing on intellectual property. So there's a number of areas and fronts that are of concern. It's not just, the military or intelligence officers. It's also, who houses our intellectual property. And this is just one source, though, of many. So if we ban TikTok, there's still thousands of other intelligence sources they use as well.
I guess I'm not so worried that the CIA station chief in Islamabad is making TikTok videos. Nevertheless, so is there a way to thread this needle?
I think so. I think what you look at is, an accreditation process, essentially, to ensure that the data that is being collected on U.S. citizens, very similarly to what we saw from like a GDPR perspective in the EU around, European citizens' information, how that's protected and stored, and ensuring that there isn't the ability for the Chinese government to take collections on U.S.-based data. I think that's more of a reasonable approach than basically saying, hey, we're just going to upright and go and ban an entire private, organization from being able to populate, because it does compete in the, market space of Facebook and Twitter and other social media, platforms that are out there. I think, having more regulation around that and adhering and making sure there's adherence to that is a much better process than trying to outright ban it.
Fantastic. David Kennedy, always insightful. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
And